Parfums de Marly is my favorite fragrance house. I now have 8 PDMs in my collection, so let's break them down into rankings. Starting off the list at number 8, we have Altair. This is going to be one of PDM's more recent releases. The reason I have it at number 8 isn't because I don't like it. It's the fact that it is very challenging to wear throughout the rest of the year. This is a winter-only fragrance. The reason being is because of the notes. Cinnamon and bourbon vanilla. This is a very vanilla-heavy fragrance. Unlike a few of the other PDMs that we're going to talk about today, you can wear those, spring, summer, fall. Altair is winter only. That's why I have it ranked at number 8. It's just not that versatile. Number 7 on my list is probably going to rub some of you guys the wrong way just based on how low it is. Let me explain. It's going to be Herod. Now, the reason I have Herod ranked at number 7 is it because I don't like how it smells? That's not the case. This is, every time I smell it, one of the best tobacco, incense, cinnamon fragrances that I've ever smelled. I love the smell of Herod. The reason I have it ranked so low is because I really take into account longevity and projection. Unfortunately for me, and I've read other reviews and I've watched other reviewers talk about this, Herod, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was reformulated, what the case is there, it's just not long lasting. If I want to wear a fragrance for the day, I want to know that it's going to last all day long. It doesn't have to, be 10 hours filling up the whole room, that sort of a thing. But I want it to be more than 3.5, 4 hours, which is really all I'm getting out of Herod on my skin. That's why I have it ranked at number 7. Now, number 6 on my list. This is one of my more recent additions to my PDM collection, and that's going to be Godolphin. Now, I said in one of my initial reviews that I wrote on my Instagram, I said that Godolphin, in my opinion, is probably the most underrated and underappreciated Parfums de Marly. The reason being is, yes, of course, it's going to get a lot of comparisons to Tom Ford Tuscan Leather. It has the fruity notes, it has the leather, but I think that this is better. I think that this goes deeper, especially into those fruity notes. And I know that this is probably, when you think about leather-based fragrances, this is probably something you would consider to be a winter fragrance, a fall fragrance. I disagree, actually. I think I want to wear this more. When I smell it off the cap, I think that this is going to smell absolutely fantastic in the summertime. Not a very hot summer day, not, 30, 40 degrees, something like that. A 20 degree, 15 to like 25 degrees Celsius. I think that Godolphin is going to absolutely shine. So for that reason, I have it at number 6. Number 5 on the list. This is now getting a little bit more challenging to narrow down to my number 1 spot. I talked about how Godolphin, I actually liked that because I felt it was more suitable for the summertime, which I tend to find summer fragrances to be quite uninspired. That's where this one comes in. None other than Parfums de Marly Galloway. Now, with Galloway, you always hear about Parfums de Marly's summer fragrances that are the best. Greenlee, Sedley, things like that. Just like how I thought Godolphin was underrated, I also think that Galloway is a little bit slept on from the community. So, what makes this fragrance special to me? As I said, I find that summer fragrances, yeah, they're full of citruses and, green, fresh notes, stuff like that. They don't really inspire me. They don't really inspire me to create content, to go out there, to actually want to wear that for the day. Galloway is not that. This has bergamot at the top, so it's suitable for summer, but it also has musk and iris. The iris in this is it's so powdery smooth, just like iris should be, and very musky too. You look at the bottle there, obviously I think that's kind of inducive to what a musk fragrance would look like, but I absolutely love this stuff. This is my number 1 summer fragrance that I wear almost every single day during the hotter months, and I'm definitely going to be wearing it in 2025. So number 5 on my list, none other than the summer masterpiece, Galloway. Number 4 on my list, I'll tell you guys right now, this was very hard to narrow down, and any one of these top 4 could have been interchangeable at any given time, but number 4 on my list, commonly regarded as the best in house, none other than Parfums de Marly Carlile. This is, as I've described it, the Bruce Wayne of fragrance. This, in my opinion, is not only one of the best Parfums de Marly fragrances, but one of the best fragrances, period, full stop. This is absolutely incredible. This is a billionaire Playboy's fragrance. I smelt this for the first time a couple of months ago when I got it, and it absolutely blew me away. The reason I have it only ranked at number 4, though, is no fault of its own, but with that said, it's a DNA that I've smelt before. I've smelt this on other fragrances. Now, of course, they're copying what Parfums de Marly has done with Carlile. But when I smelt it for the first time, yes, I realized how incredible it was. I also felt like I've smelt that before. Think about Hugo Boss Bottled Absolute right now. People are saying it's quite similar to what Carlile offers. And I have Hugo Boss Bottled. Incredible fragrance, but yes, it is very similar. So I have smelt this before in other DNAs, which is not a fault of Carlile's, but it's an absolutely incredible fragrance. This is a 10 out of 10. It's an absolute masterpiece. It's one of the best fragrances on the market that you can buy. Number 4 on my list, Parfums de Marly, Carlile. All right, now if that pissed you guys off that number 4 on the list was Carlile, wait till you see what I have ranked at number 3. I know it gets a lot of hate. People sometimes regard it as the worst Parfums de Marly out there. Parfums de Marly, Kanan. This is the first PDM that I got, and in my opinion, I know you guys are going to come for me on this one. This is my 3rd favorite PDM in my entire collection, and I've smelt most Parfums de Marly's, even the ones that I don't have on here, Sedley, Hobdon, Greenlee, Percival. I still think that Kanan is my number 3 favorite, and I'll tell you why. When I smelt this for the first time, when I said I'd smelt the Carlile DNA before, so when I smelt Carlile the first time, it was like, yes, absolutely incredible, smells fantastic. I've smelt that before. When I smelt Kanan for the first time, just like when I smell it right now, I've never smelt this on anything else. I think that this is so unique. It's so spicy, the blood orange with the lavender. It's an absolutely incredible, incredible creation. It's so unique, and that's why I like it. Parfums de Marly is a niche fragrance house. This is a niche fragrance. Even it's so niche that even some niche heads hate this stuff. They don't like it. I think that this is absolutely incredible. It's my number 3 on the list. This is what I want from Parfums de Marly. Very unique, bold, creative choices when they make their fragrances. Because some people, one of the, I guess you could say, complaints about Parfums de Marly is that they play it a little bit safe. Kanan is anything but that. Kanan is not safe. People compare this to Baccarat Rouge 540. I don't really get that at all. If I'm being honest with you, when I smell this, I don't really get a lot of that Baccarat Rouge DNA. And I've compared them side by side. I don't really get a lot of the Baccarat Rouge. I will say I do believe one of the problems with Kanan that a lot of people had is they were expecting something different than what they got. This is a very blood orange, spicy fragrance that is very hard to find a suitable occasion to wear it. Would you want to wear Kanan to the office? I don't know. I don't know if I'd recommend that. Would you want to wear it to school if you're somebody that's still going to school? Definitely not. You got to be careful when you wear this. This is a fall winter fragrance, very spicy, and it's going to tingle people's noses. It's just, as I said, I think that this is so good. I think that this is so creative, and that's what I'm looking for when it comes to niche fragrances. So for that reason, Kanan, number 3 on my list. All right, so number 2 on my list, as I said with Carlile, any of the top 4 could be interchangeable for one another, but I think I've narrowed it down to what my second favorite in my collection is. My most recent addition, none other than the absolutely iconic Layton Exclusive. Now, this is quintessential Parfums de Marly. When you think of Parfums de Marly, most people are going to think of Layton or Pegasus. I do believe that those are their 2 biggest sellers. Layton Exclusive is a much more animalistic, mature take on the Layton DNA. Now, this has oud, rose, civet, quite challenging notes to pull off, especially when they're combined together. Civet and oud, you're talking animalistic there. But in my opinion, this is one of the greatest fragrances that I've ever smelled in my life. I think that, if you think about what my top 3 favorite fragrances are, this is probably going to be in the top 5 of that. That's how good and how highly I rank Layton Exclusive. This is long lasting, extremely long lasting, great projection off of this. It's an absolute masterpiece. I mean, I've wanted this fragrance for so long, and every time I smell it off the cap and spray it on myself, it just gets better every single time I smell it. So number 2 on my list, Parfums de Marly, Layton Exclusive. Let's talk about number 1. That only leaves one more from my collection. What is my number 1 favorite Parfums de Marly fragrance? It is the fragrance that got me into Parfums de Marly. I remember it was 2021 when I first tried this fragrance and when I first discovered PDM in general. And this is a fragrance that stood out to me for years. It was the one fragrance from the house. As soon as someone said Parfums de Marly, it was, oh, have you tried? Parfums de Marly, Eau Jaune. This is my favorite fragrance of all time. Eau Jaune is my favorite fragrance of all time. Recently got married in September, needed a fragrance. It was Eau Jaune. Bought it specifically for my wedding. And every time I smell this thing, just the honey off the top with the cinnamon and the spices, absolutely gorgeous. I think that this is a perfect fragrance. Long lasting, great projection, unique smell, something you feel confident when wearing. That is Eau Jaune. That's why it is my #1 favorite Parfums de Marly. All right, so that was my 8 Parfums de Marlys from my collections, all ranked my least favorite to my favorite. Are there any in there that you guys disagree with me on? I have a very strong feeling that some of you guys are probably going to disagree with how I ranked Carlile and especially where I ranked Kanan. Again, it's just, I feel like Kanan, when I smelt that for the first time, hit me like a freight train that, oh my God, that is so unique, so creative. Carlile, absolutely fantastic, but I feel like I've smelt it before. So there's a couple others that I do want to add eventually. Obviously, Hobdon, Acaster, Greenlee, Sedley, Percival for sure. Might even pick up Pegasus again. I used to have Pegasus, but I actually traded it for Altair. I just felt like it was a little bit more wearable. So let me know what you guys think. What's your favorite Parfums de Marly? Are there any you think I should add sooner rather than later? Comment below. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.